Yes, yes, we are going down to South Park, a show that has just crawled its way into my heart and brain and refuses to leave, and I am perfectly okay with that. From a writing standpoint, it's one of the greatest animated shows where everything has character-based causality. From early on, this inspired me with my own writing. No characters are doing something meaningless, there's no wasted scenes, and every scene needs to build into the next. I could keep going with this intro, but I hear the clicks to other attention-catching thumbnails and creators, so here we go. Number 10. Season 2, Episode 10, Chickenpox. An ongoing theme you'll notice in some of my favorite episodes are when the boys need to work together to solve an issue. It's very similar to how I feel about classic Tom and Jerry episodes, where the two would team up. When Stan's sister Shelly is sick with chickenpox, Sharon becomes concerned about Stan, and the doctor's warning it gets worse with age. She and the other parents decide to send the boys over to Kenny's house for a sleepover, intending to get them sick. On the way to Kenny's, Cartman sings an Elvis Presley song.
Well, here's Kenny's house. In the gutter, on the cold and gray Chicago moon, another little baby child is born in the gutter, in the gutter.
They spend the night seeing how Kenny's family lives. Egos for dinner, ColecoVision plugged into a black and white TV, and rats all over the place. When all the boys get sick except for Kyle, his mom sends him to Kenny's again, and play one of the absolute grossest games I've ever heard in my life, especially in this day and age.
Fishing trip for them or something.
I can't say Ookie Mouth and have Kenny spit down my throat at the same time. It's impossible.
Practice makes perfect, Bobby.
Stan becomes extremely ill, putting him in the hospital. He finds out that his parents intentionally got him sick with chickenpox, which makes him and the other boys seek revenge on their parents. They decide to give them herpes. Having a prostitute recommended by Chef brush her teeth with their toothbrushes, rubs her herpes on underwear, and succeeds in giving their parents an STD. This is all played as a typical sitcom joke at the end.
Wow, cool!
And how are you, Kyle?
Are you doing okay?
I'm better now.
What's so funny, you two?
We gave you guys herpes.
What? You did this?
And Kenny succumbing to the chickenpox in the final moments. Favorite moment from this episode is Chef realizing what he just did.
Okay. Wait a minute, what the hell did I just do?
Number 9. Season 3, Episode 3, The Succubus. The main reason this episode is on this list is due to Chef's parents. The 350 story will forever be something I reference.
Say, would you crackers like to hear about the time we saw the Loch Ness Monster?
No, that's okay.
This giant crustacean from the Paleolithic era comes out of the water.
We were so scared, Lord, I remember that jumped up. Oh, it was so scary.
And I yelled, I said, "What do you want from us, monster?" And the monster bent down and said, "I need about 350.
And going back to the previous entry, the story makes the boys work together. When Chef quits his job and begins ignoring the boys, they go to his house. They find out he has a girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
She's moving in.
Moving in?
And he's
In love.
Love?
They meet her and immediately don't like her, as she makes the joke that she's stealing Chef away from them. Instead of talking to their parents, the next best adult for them is Mr. Garrison, who tells them about the succubus.
What's a succubus?
A succubus is a woman sent from hell to suck the life out of a man.
That's it, yeah!
They find out that Chef is getting married, and they need to stop the succubus from taking his soul. Playing the song she sings throughout the episode in reverse is what does it. Chef is no longer under her spell, and now he can be friends with the boys again, except Kenny. The B story in this is about Cartman and his mean optometrist. The accent he has telling Cartman fat jokes will always be amusing to me.
Let's see how your eyes are doing. All you have to do is read the letters. Can you see the letters?
Yes?
All right, read them out for me.
I am a little piggy. That does it!
No, that was just a weird coincidence. I did not know how that happened. I am a little piggy. Wow, what are the odds of that?
Number 8. Season 1, Episode 1. Cartman gets an anal probe. This episode would have been way higher on this list if Matt and Trey didn't get better as time went on. This is the only episode of the series done completely by hand and stop motion capture. Matt and Trey put months into this project to make it the best they could. One thing rewatching is the 1 or 2 frames occasionally featuring one of their hands taken by accident and left in the episode. I won't go too much into the story on this because it's in the title. Cartman gets an anal probe. The episode is set on introducing us to the main boys and their issues. Kenny, the poor kid, Stan, the hopeless romantic, Kyle, the warrior, and Cartman, the spoiled fat kid. It's all there from episode 1, until they began changing up the personalities of the boys for the better. And my favorite moment from this episode...
I know it was just a dream, I know I didn't have an anal probe, and I know that I am not under alien control!
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a keyboard cue.
Number 7. Season 2, Episode 2. Cartman's mom is still a dirty slut. Number 7 on this list is the episode everyone thought would air when South Park's second season premiered in 1998. An April Fool's joke that they received death threats over, which is just typical South Park fashion. The answer of who is Eric Cartman's father will be answered tonight. But before the answer is given, the room goes dark and a shot rings out. When the lights come back on, Dr. Mephisto is laying in a pool of blood and in need of a hospital visit. Chef drives him and the boys to the hospital while the snow continues falling. Cartman is notably upset, wanting to know who his father is. Probably could read the results off the sheet he had, but that's the smallest nitpick of this episode. When they get to the hospital, they find it overflowing with patients and it being only staffed by one doctor and an armless nurse. All the while, the rest of the people waiting on results are still at the lab. The America's Most Wanted TV crew shows up due to being desperate for stories. They reenact the event, recasting and ultimately end up getting snowed in. After a mere couple hours, the townsfolk are hungry. They decide to eat Eric Roberts. At the hospital, the power is cut and it is left to Kenny to repair it. Using himself as the connector between the cut cables, he is electrocuted and becomes a freezy pop. Favorite moment? It's the Come Sail Away bit.
It's like when you hear the first part of that song, Come Sail Away by Styx. If I hear the first part of that song, I have to finish it. Really? Yeah, I can't do anything till it's done. I'm sailing away. No, don't. Set an open course for the virgin sea. I've got to be free the face of that's hit me. I'm bored on the captain's climb aboard. We search for tomorrow on every shore and I'll try carry on. Gathering all the just a bit about my head. The same girls, the song of hope, and this is what they say. Comes away with me. That comes away with me.
Number 6. Season 5, Episode 14. Butter's very own episode. I admire risks. They don't always pan out, but when they do, you get one of the craziest and darkest episodes of South Park that exists. Detective Butters solves a case that he probably shouldn't have, following his father to a men's bathhouse. When Butters' mom asks him where Chris went to, he shows her pictures. This drives her absolutely bonkers. Repainting the house
3 times.
Must paint. Everything clean. Everything new.
After Butters walks in on his dad going blind in a grungy room, Chris is ashamed, now having to talk to his son about what he saw. Linda interrupts and takes Butters on a ride. She brings him to a pier, telling him to keep his seatbelt on and to not move. She lets the car drift into the river, attempting to kill Butters. Linda attempts to hang herself before Chris stops her. She tells him what she did and decides to cover it up by telling the police.
Tom, I'm standing in front of the home of Chris and Linda Stotch. They're living every parent's nightmare right now, as last night, while Miss Stotch was driving with her son in the car, a man stopped her, put a gun to her head, and took her son away. When asked who the man was, Miss Stotch replied, "Some Puerto Rican guy."
Little do they know, Butters is fine and winds up getting a ride from a trucker who leaves him on the side of the road after Butters begins singing the Bennigan's theme. Butters ends up getting home to surprise his parents. But now that he's back, they need to tell everyone another lie. Butters stops them and shows them it's never okay to lie. His parents tell the entire town what had just transpired. The boys are there for the first time in the episode and are shocked at what they hear. Favorite moment is the entire last 2 minutes.
I'd been deceiving my wife for several months. I was going to gay movie and bathhouses and having sex with random men who were complete strangers.
Yeah. Wait, what?
And when I found out, I went crazy. And I drove my son into the lake to kill him.
Kill me? Jesus Christ. Damn, dude.
Number 5. Season 4, Episode 8. Something you can do with your finger. A running gag throughout South Park is Cartman and his money endeavors. Him wanting that $1 million more than anything. This episode begins with a dream of Cartman and the boys singing in front of thousands. When he wakes up to see he is just the same.
party! God damn it!
Cartman brings the rest of the group in on it. Kyle tells him he is missing one person to become a true boy band. Because of this, they hold auditions. Butters does his audition to an unimpressed group. Then Ike shows up, Cartman getting upset as Ike does typical songs. Next up is Wendy, and it's my favorite part of the episode other than the mall cops.
A meeting in the office, a meeting in the hall. The bossy wants to see you, so you can suck his balls. That was a writer. He lived with Alan Funt. Mrs. Roberts didn't like him, but that's cause she's a contaminated water. Can really make you sick. Your bladder gets infected, and blood comes out your dick. Take what I'm saying, cause it will bring you luck. And if you all don't like it, I don't give a flying fuck.
The band is all together. Before any sort of practice, they go to talk to the manager of the mall so they can get a stage. When they go to sing, they are shrugged off by the manager. This makes Cartman try even harder. He sets up a music video shoot with girls from school to scream for them. They make a tape and show it to the manager. He isn't impressed, but what he is impressed with is the sex tape of Mr. Mackey and Cartman's mom. Weak. They end up getting the stage, but Stan isn't allowed to go because of Randy being in a boy band when he was younger. This is also one of the first episodes we get a Randy backstory, which are always welcomed. He's such a great character and he only got better. He eventually lets Stan go. When they go to perform, Kenny is killed by the elevator. Without a fifth member, they are almost forced to leave. However, Randy joins in without hesitation, making Randy immediately one of my favorite TV dads ever. His support in this episode shows that this isn't just a comedy, it's an animated comedy with heart. Number 4, Season 3, Episode 1, Rainforest Schmainforest. Jennifer Aniston is one of the few celebrities to have a guest role in South Park with significant lines. Jay Leno played Mr. Kitty and George Clooney played Sparky. But here, she is able to have a character and personality, and she gets a bit of an arc. Better than being shot into the sun. The choir group shows up at South Park. The boys being themselves get in trouble from Mr. Garrison. They are sent with the group to the rainforest. When they arrive, they do the song and dance for their leader. They are offered a tour before the big event where they will perform in front of UN leaders to help save the rainforest. They can't exactly do that when the tour lead gets eaten by a relatively harmless snake that must have a bunch of acid inside its stomach. When Cartman gets sick of following Miss Stevens, he goes the other way, her wishing he dies. However, Cartman saves the day by bringing the construction workers to free them from the native tribe holding the class hostage. My favorite moment from this episode is the opening. Seeing the boys versus Mr. Garrison will always be comedy gold. So much so that they used a very similar setup in the movie, bigger, longer, uncut.
What if you don't have any rhythm?
Excuse me?
Like my friend Kyle, he's Jewish, so he doesn't have any rhythm. Shut up, fat ass! Choirs suck.
Kyle Broflovsky, you watch your language. Eric Cartman, you be nice to people. Stan Marsh, you mind your manners. Kenny McCormick, you pay attention. Go ahead.
I'll leave information packets up front.
Oh, that's good. We need some more toilet paper.
All right, that does it.
Oh, and the Tony Danza moment, perfect.
Stick together. Is everybody still here?
I'm not.
Who's not?
Me? Oh my god, dude! I just saw Tony Danza!
No, you didn't just see Tony Danza, Stanley.
Number 3, Season 4, Episode 15, Fat Camp. Cartman finally gets an intervention from his friends, except Mr. Garrison, who just wanted to see the look on his face when they told him he needs to go to Fat Camp. While he does this, Stan and Kyle find out that Kenny is willing to do anything for money. This spoofing Johnny Knoxville and Tom Green for doing ridiculous things for money. Cartman can't take the camp, trying to get away but being stopped by an ice cream truck trap. Later, Cartman shows up back home to surprise everyone with the weight loss, making fun of the show itself with the main characters' features being their clothes and weight. Cartman is the only one of the kids in the whole school that is overweight. He is now slimmer than Kyle. We find out that Cartman is actually still at Fat Camp, selling the candy and junk foods that the imposter Cartman brings from South Park. The two have a deal that Cartman won't say anything about his stay in the rehab center and gets a percentage of the money Cartman makes from the kids trying to lose weight. Kyle catches on eventually, making him do the stunt Kenny was supposed to do before he got caught giving Howard Stern a Hummer. The imposter Kenny now climbs into Mrs. Crabtree's uterus. The parents of the overweight children pull their kids out of the camp, seeing how there is no effect in the loss, until one kid stands up and tells everyone it was Cartman. The speech gave gets through to Cartman, and right as he decides it's time to lose the weight, he's kicked out. Imposter Kenny was smushed, being pushed out in a pink clump. Then, Harry Potter comes sliding out with the announcer,
Who was that?
Number 2. Season 5, Episode 7, Proper Condom Use. Kids being kids. When 5th graders teach Cartman and Kenny how to milk a dog, they show Kyle and Stan. Excited, Stan runs home to show his parents while they hold a book club in the living room. To everyone's shock, Stan milks the dog, shocking Sharon and grounding him for 10 months. When questioning their son, they realize he doesn't understand what he was doing. An important running gag throughout South Park is that the kids are naive, but the parents can be worse. Later episodes will show it even more. After a PTA meeting, the school and teachers lower the sex ed grade from 5th to 4th. Mr. Mackey and Miss Chokesundick will teach the boys and girls respectively. Mr. Mackey saying penis and scrotum, yes. Miss Makes Me Sick utilizes a scare tactic on the girls about STDs. The girls refuse to even be in the same area as the boys, believing they would catch those same STDs. The boys buy condoms and wear them. Mr. Mackey explains that they can't get STDs without sex from girls. This roused the boys to have a war with the girls, creating a parody in the vein of Mad Max Road Warrior. While this is happening, Mr. Mackey and Mrs. C start to fall for one another, seeing how sexually unappealing both are. The clash of boys and girls led to a massive explosion, bringing all the adults to the site. They have a nice conversation before Chef gives the final message.
When is the right age for us to start having sex?
It's very simple, children. The right time to start having sex is 17.
Honorable mentions. Season 1. Elephant makes love to a pig.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John.
Ooh, tonight. Oh, it's right. Ooh, tonight is right for love. Love craving on.
And Pink Eye, which is the first episode of South Park I've ever seen.
My body might get cold, but it's always hot in my bed. Make love, don't you be afraid.
Season 2. Spooky Fish. Prehistoric Iceman.
Hey, still alive. Kyle, you okay?
I think so. Is Cartman up there?
I'm right here, Kyle.
Cartman, you fucking hunk of fat rat fucking hunk of pig fucking ass face!
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Say that to my face, pussy.
Season 3. Chimpokomon.
No, kitty, you can't have these chicken tenders because they are mine and I keep mine to myself.
Red Badge of Gayness.
What the hell are you doing? I'm playing the drum. Well, you have to hit it softer. Hey, you can't just hit a drum. You have to beat the shit out of it.
And Corn's Groovy Pirate Mystery.
And all I had to do then was create a ghost ship by using some candles, a mirror, and 2 squirrels.
Season 4. Did the handicap go to hell?
Let me explain how communion works. The priest will give you this round cracker, and he will say, "The body of Christ," and then you eat it.
Jesus was made of crackers?
No.
But crackers are his body.
Yes.
What?
Probably.
Today, this Jewish boy and all sinners are going to be saved. Kyle, do you believe in God?
Yes!
Do you want to be saved from hell?
Yes!
That's good because right now, all the Jewness is coming out of your body, being replaced by the Spirit of God. Bah! Ow! Praise God. How do you feel now? Do you feel the light of God inside you?
Season 5. Super Best Friends.
Kyle, I'm starting to think that this is a really bad idea.
I'm not Kyle. I'm Butters. I thought you were Kyle.
No, I'm Stan.
You're Stan? Where's Kenny?
Who are you?
I'm Kyle.
Guess who I am, you guys?
Cartman Land.
Man, it's 3:30. This is taking up my whole Saturday.
Shh, Pumpkin, it's almost over.
Why could the funeral have been on a school day?
And The Entity.
All right, here we go.
Now what? Now throw it back to me. But it's down in the snow.
So dig it out.
But I'll get snow on my gloves and then it will melt and I'll have wet hands.
Well, then we'll dry them off.
All right then. Oh my God.
Number 1. Season 4, Episode 16. Wacky Molestation Adventure. My favorite episode of the first 5 seasons. There are so many great moments that I still laugh thinking of. Wanting to go to a risque concert, Kyle asks his parents to go. They refuse, even though he does exactly what they say, even bringing democracy to Cuba. Cartman gives him some advice. Use the M word and tell them good touch.
No, wait, you say it was bad touch.
What's bad touch?
Something about a swimsuit, I don't remember.
This does the trick. Kyle's parents are taken away, and now he's left alone to go to whatever concert he wants, even throwing a party at his house, spurring the other kids to do the same thing to their parents. This eventually leaves the town empty of all adults, giving the kids control of South Park. From this point, we leave the kids' perspective and into a wonderful parody of Children of the Corn. 2 outsiders driving through come across Smiley Town. This births one of my absolute favorite moments from the entire series.
Oh, well, hello. What's your name? What do you want?
We want to play.
Mark, I'm scared.
Don't be scared, they're just kids. Where are your parents?
We already played with our parents. Now we want to play with you.
Okay, I'm scared now too. That freaked me out.
After the couple stops the boys from sacrificing Butters, they tell them they need to get the providers back. When they do, the parents aren't upset. When they run away, they were conditioned to truly believe they actually touched their children. Feeling sorry, the parents, instead of yelling, they put the blame on themselves. This episode is number 1 on this list because years after it premiered, it has stuck with me. I still return and watch this episode at least once a year. If you haven't seen this episode, please watch. It's not the best, but it's my favorite of the first 5 seasons. On the next top 10 list.
What's wrong with AIDS? Why doesn't anyone want me to give them AIDS? There he is, beating that dead horse.